Greetings, Warriors. Griffin, how you guys doing? I'll go back to the Good Game Griffin Gaming channel with Celeste to give me a blessing in the video. Guys, what we're going to be doing today, now I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this may be, I'm not gonna say a waste of a video, but I'm not milking views or anything. It's just I haven't seen this. This is actually on the RE9 actual website up in here, and is basically going over Resident Evil Requiem, going over the what's about it, the story, the main character, and the locations, and of course the gameplay. We already went over this, but I want to re-go over this just because it's on the actual website that you guys are seeing here. And one thing I did notice compared to RE4 Remake, if I remember correctly, RE4 Remake was made on and for the PS4 as well. This right here is straight up nothing but new gen hardware, okay? PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and of course, beloved Steam. I know I have enough PTO to at least get 4 days off for this game, at least. Let's go ahead and go down and scroll down real quick. So we already seen the trailer, of course, the about. Resident Evil Requiem is the 9th title in the mainline Resident Evil series. Prepare to escape death in a heart-stopping experience that will chill you to the core. A new era, keyword, a new era of survival horror begins in 2026. Technological advances combined with the development team's depth of experience, combining the story with rich characters and gameplay that's more immersive than ever before. Now, of course, you know, a lot of developers, you know, they gotta sell it, you know. So let's say new era of survival horror, but who knows? We're probably gonna be seeing the same thing we've already been seeing. We don't know that yet. I'm playfully kidding, of course. I'm freaking down. I'm freaking ready. It says rich characters, so we already know that, of course, Grace ain't the only people up in here. Plus, it's already been confirmed that another character is confirmed, but we don't know who that is. So I'm looking forward to it. We still got plenty of time. We got plenty of time. Everything is set in motion when a body is discovered in an abandoned hotel. FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft is assigned to the case, but the crime scene is at the very same hotel where her mother died 8 years ago. Grace prepares to finally face the past and makes her way to the scene. But this one case leads to uncovering the hidden truth behind the outbreak in Raccoon City, the biological disaster that shook the world. Will this be the Requiem that finally lays the memories of that abhorrent disaster to rest? What does that word mean? I'm not smart, y'all, so let me, abhorrent. I know, I heard the word. Inspiring disgust and loathing. Inspiring disgust and loathing. Okay, cool, I learned something new today. So that is the story, which we do know, of course, just by looking at the trailer or anything, but it's actually cool that we got to see that. Now it says this one case leads to uncovering the hidden truth behind the outbreak in Raccoon City. I'm like, don't we already know the truth of what happened? Like, you know, so at this point, I'm looking at this, I'm like, what else hasn't Capcom told us on why Raccoon City happened? Like, we already have an idea, but now we get to look deeper into the depths. Who knows? And plus, at the same time, we already know that Homegirl's mother, you know, did a report which helped bring down Umbrella as well. So Umbrella as well. So that's actually good info. I'm definitely looking forward to that. That's a good story. Good little key point without spoiling. So we got the set in motion. In the demo, the player said they only had a lighter. We see Homegirl in the art with a pistol. Now, I didn't have access to this. I didn't see this until I think after I made my video. So I was a little bit late on that, but better late than never. So why not? This could be the thumbnail maybe. But anyway, so that we got Homegirl, Grace Ashcroft, who's actually very pretty. Someone tried to, I wasn't on X, but someone actually tried to rage bait and said that people were saying that she was ugly. And I was like, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. Now, let's be real here. I mean, we still got Ada. I mean, let's keep it a buck. But she's pretty. Going down, Grace Ashcroft, right? And plus, don't get me wrong, like women with glasses. An intelligent analyst for the FBI who demonstrates intense focus and insight in deductive reasoning and analysis. Her mother's death shook her to the soul, making her an introvert who immerses herself in work. I can relate, I'm an introvert. So she heads to the abandoned hotel alone to investigate this mysterious death. I love where this is going. I'm really, really anxious to know who in the hell is the other character that has an arsenal of weapons. So basically, I'm gonna just assume like someone's a badass that's coming here to help. But they don't take place with Grace. They take place here, where it all happened. Where my 6-year-old self first got into Raccoon City on the Nintendo 64 via Resident Evil 2. I first seen it when I was 5 via my brother, but I didn't get to touch it and play it until I was 6. So that was my first instance of survival horror entering this city here. Return once again to the city of disaster and despair, which was cool because I know a lot of fans were like, is this just gonna be just a flashback, or are we actually gonna be able to see the city? And I was one of them that was like, I hope they don't do that. I hope they're not showing so much of Raccoon City like that and we don't get to maybe explore or look or anything. I mean, I don't know. So that's That'd be weird. One thing I do like, fun fact, I'm seeing a bus here. In the original RE2, there is actually a bus that you get on and get off at the end to enter the RPD. So I kind of like that they still have like this familiarity if you play RE2. I forgot which scenario it is, which side. I forgot which scenario it is when you actually take the bus to go around instead of like the back alleyway in Resident Evil 2. But yeah, so this is just a hint of familiarity right here at this particular gate. They got it down. They got it down because they could put any vehicle, but there legitimately is a bus. Raccoon City, a Midwestern city in the United States and the headquarters for the former global pharmaceutical company Umbrella. In the face of the zombie outbreak in 1998, the government approved a sterilization operation, a missile strike on the city, in an attempt to quickly bring the situation under control. But this was swiftly covered up. Now that is very true, and plus, as we know in RE6, the president at the time wanted to reveal to the public what really happened. Leon was a little bit against it in RE6, but Leon has a high moral compass, and not only that, the president at that time, he also had a high moral compass as well, and that's why their friendship was so close. But of course, the National Security Advisor was saying, do you realize what would happen if he told the truth, kind of thing. So, so the government trying to keep that under wraps on what happened. So knowing all of that, it would be cool now, considering that in my head, I was like, okay, well, we already know everything. But now, is there a little piece of the puzzle that we don't know as fans after all these years that could discover what really happened? I'm just your simple man. If something happened with Umbrella, we saw what happened, it didn't work out, the rats got into the water system, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's all we know, and that's what happened. And of course, Umbrella wanted to cover it up, and then the government did their thing with this missile, which I need to retract what I said before in one of my videos. It was not a nuclear launch. It was a sterilization operation. There was a comment that did correct me on that, and I sincerely apologize that I got that information wrong. It was not a nuke. It was obviously sterilization to clean it up. If it was nuclear, like high radiation, all that stuff like that, I guarantee we wouldn't be going here even after 20 years, okay? Okay, and then the last portion, which is info that we got actually a couple days ago. Experience the series' classic survival horror through combat, investigations, puzzles, okay, puzzles are back, and resource management, okay? Gameplay allows you to freely switch between first and third person views to face the horrors in a way that suits your playstyle. I love that it is on the actual website, so nobody can question it. I do love that they have it right here, third person perspective, right here, that's Grace, and then you also right here. I have it on dark mode on this thing, so that's why this is all whited out, but it says first person perspective. Okay, there's a dark mode Chrome extension that I have on here, and that's why this is like that, but just to let you know, just to show you guys, bam, you guys can see it. Okay, first person perspective. So we got a good little look, guys. We got a good little look. So with that, guys, that is basically just the coverage of on here. I'm pretty sure you guys have already seen this. I know someone told me about this and I said, is there anything new? And they said no, and I was like, well, let me look at it, maybe just make a video on it, just so people can see that it is, it is on the actual website, in case people didn't hear it and they're just going off the videos that the players that played at Summer's Games Fest and stuff like that. Like, this is on the actual website of Resident Evil, okay, the actual Capcom website of Resident Evil. Biggest thing I'm glad we nipped in the bud was the camera perspective, because that was like the biggest thing, and I think now the fan base can cool off a little bit and let Capcom cook for the next foreseeable 8 to 9 months or something like that. So right now Capcom is pregnant and they're building up a beautiful baby of Resident Evil to give birth in February 27th, which is very cool. And with that next month in March is also the 30th anniversary of Resident Evil, which is fan-freaking-tastic. You think that 30 years and we're on Resident Evil 9, bro. That's crazy when you look at it. Of course, you also have your side Resident Evils as well, like Code Veronica and stuff like that. But still, like, number wise, we're at 9. Like, it's fantastic on how far this series has come and how much fan base grew over the years. I'm excited for this. I want to show you guys something here. What you guys have done in just these past, it wasn't even like a full week until a couple days ago since this was announced. You guys have destroyed my channel once again in a good way. I just want to show you guys analytics on what you guys have done. Since the RE9 trailer was revealed, we achieved 260 subscribers in that time frame. I just wanted to show you guys that because, like, dog, you guys destroyed my channel on this, and I'm immensely happy on that. Real talk, I can't thank you guys enough. And I want to send a message out there to the new fans of RE. This is the perfect time to get into it. You have plenty of time to play all the Resident Evils until Resident Evil 9 comes out. I don't know if you'll be able to experience Outbreak unless you have emulation, and hopefully can at least work through it and make it and play with friends or something like that. If you can, do it. If you cannot, no worries. There's plenty of channels and everything that are playing it and revisiting the series. You can live through their eyes in their videos and in their channels. Great time to experience it. Okay, don't let anyone tell you that you're a fake fan because you didn't know about Outbreak. Realistically, Outbreak is popular amongst the people that played it, but it didn't sell quite well. All right, so and the thing is, I want to say the reason why it didn't sell quite well is because I think it was like one generation too early with the idea that it had, which is, you know, online multiplayer. You know, plenty of people had the PS2, but not a lot of people had access to the network and all that stuff like that. So that's probably why it didn't sell well. If it sold today, then it would be fantastic because it's more than available at this point. So don't let people assume that you are a fake fan or anything. If your first Resident Evil was in the remakes, there's nothing wrong with that. You can go back and revisit it. And if you don't want to, then at least catch up with the lore. At least do that. But other than that, if you are a fan of Resident Evil, welcome to the fan base, man. It legitimately, you have your toxicity here and there, or some gatekeepers, whatever, but majority of the fan base, a good chunk, I want to say at least 99% of the fan base at least, are good freaking people, man. We just love the lore of Resident Evil. We love the characters. We're emotionally attached to the characters. It's just a beautiful community, in my opinion. Believe me, there are way worse communities out there on gaming and everything, so don't worry on that. But other than that, man, welcome yourself, immerse yourself into the lore. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask some peeps, man. A lot of people that are experts in Resident Evil, that are true fans, realistically, they're not going to ish on you for not knowing the lore or anything. Ask questions, that I guarantee they'll be more than happy to talk to you and explain it to you and catch you up to speed on it. And plus, there's actually a Resident Evil wiki if you want to catch up on the lore, which, you know, I'll leave that down in the description if you guys want to do that. It has a wiki of every character and what story's going on. It's a long read if you want to read it all, but cool, at least you can catch up on it, okay? But other than that, guys, if you are brand new, welcome to the Resident Evil community. To everyone that's subscribed to the channel, thank you very much for subscribing and showing me a lot of love for this. This will be the last info. Of course, I said that in my video. This is like, I'm only going to cover what's new about Resident Evil that has been confirmed. No leaks. We don't do any of that. I'm not going to bash any leakers that do it. If you are leaking, do your thing. Like I said, leakers are harmless, but at the same time, as a fan, you can choose whether to believe it or you can choose whether to ignore it. That's up to you. So I have no issues with leakers and I have no interest in calling them out or anything like that. Do what you do. Much blessings to you guys. Thank you very much for making the channel where it is, and a new milestone that we achieved. 2 new milestones since this reveal trailer was announced, which was 1 million channel views and 5K subscribers. So much love to you guys. Can't thank you guys enough. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.